Good morning, guys. We are on the Action 5 Pro. You guys know I've been vlogging with this for a little while. I did the ND video, which wasn't a big hit, but the point for that video was not just to test out the NDs, but to see how the stabilizing works, because I've heard that there's complaints that the stabilizing suffers when you bring down the shutter speed because it is digital. And so digital stabilizing, I guess, uses some sort of like shutter combination formula to stabilize the footage. And therefore, when you slow it down, you just get all the weird like jitters in the background and stuff like that. So I have decided that this camera, I'm not going to use NDs on it full auto, which I was already going to plan on doing that. I got the NDs just to test them out. I might do a giveaway on them later or whatever. I don't know yet. I might just keep them around to play and do more tests. But we're going to do this one on auto today, and today we're going to be playing around with DLOG because DLOG on this thing looks really good versus the normal color profile. Normal color profile makes the image look digital even when turning down noise reduction to 2 and texture or sharpness to -2. It still adds some sort of processing to it, and it makes it very digital. Let's go take my kids to school, and then on the way back we'll talk about the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Action 5 and who I think each camera is for. And if you're looking at buying one of these, I'm just going to give you the quick lowdown on that. So stay tuned. Guys, check it out. I got my van fixed. Brand new wheel well. It looks nice. We got the minivan back. Bye, babe. All right, guys. So today I thought I'd make a video on talking about the Osmo Pocket and the Action 5 because they are two really awesome cameras. I like them both equally for their own superpowers. So, and in this video, I just want to hopefully give you guys some information in case you are looking to buying one of these cameras, or maybe you're looking to add on one or the other one to your vlogging kit or filming combo for your YouTube videos or whatever you're doing with them. Okay, so I bought the Action 5 almost a week ago. No. Yeah, I bought it Sunday or Saturday. I don't remember. But I've been playing with this camera every single day for hours and learning all the menus, trying out different settings, trying no stabilizing on, trying stabilizing on, and all that good stuff. And I did all the testing for you, and I'm continuing to doing more testing, but I feel like I got pretty much everything I need done to finally come up with a conclusion with this camera and where I'm going to use it. I am going to use it for vlogging because it has got a wide angle lens and it's got an amazing stabilizing, which I don't recommend turning off. It just needs to be on by like at all times, because without the stabilizing, this thing sucks. It sucks bad. Like, I did one video without it and it was so bad that I actually didn't even end up posting it. I couldn't even work with the footage. It was really, really bad to look at and even edit. So I just, yeah, stabilizing is not a thing for this thing. You have to use it. I'm gonna start with the perspective of a beginner. You're not a camera nerd. You've been wanting like an action camera or some sort of small camera to film like your daily life, your travels, and all that stuff. And I'm gonna keep this super simple. So if you're a beginner, both of these cameras are super, super easy. And when I say beginner, this is the person that doesn't know anything about cameras, is going to take them out of the box, put a memory card in there and hit record and use all the automatic features that the camera is suggesting for the user to use. Okay, that's who I'm talking to. So both of these cameras are great, awesome, great quality and everything like that. The Action 5 is a robust camera that you can mount pretty much anywhere. Your bike, your head, your backpack, anywhere. It's just an easy mountable camera. It's super robust. It's waterproof. You can actually go underwater with it, swim, and all that stuff. So if you're like an adventure person that wants to hike, go and rock climbing, waterfalls, you might be a little bit less careful with your cameras, where you're just kind of tossing them in your bag and everything like that. This camera is gonna take all of that damage, and it comes with a wide angle lens so you can capture the most out of your environment and everything that you're looking for, which is really, really nice for vlogging. Like, I don't have to hold this out super far out from my face when vlogging, because the wide angle is super like wide, and I just really like it. Both of these cameras sync up with a wireless microphone, which I recommend getting one so that you can get the best audio if you are going to be doing some vlogging with this. Other than that, as long as the camera is close, it's within arm's reach from you and you're talking to it, you're going to get great audio as well. The other difference between this one and the Osmo Pocket 3 is that this one has interchangeable batteries. So if your battery runs out, you can just easily swap out for a new one and you're ready to go. Osmo Pocket 3, you gotta charge up, or if you get the extender pack, I guess you can put that on there. So again, guys, super sturdy, robust. You can toss this thing around, use it as a weapon, throw it at people, whatever, mount it on your bike, wherever you want. Super adventurous, waterproof, weather resistant, all that jazz. Now, if you are going to be doing more like easy, I guess, gentle stuff like talking head videos where you just have the camera placed, maybe you're just walking around like Disneyland, and like easy kind of hikes where you just need a camera to point around and show people where you're at, and you're gonna maybe be doing a lot of talking head videos like I do, vlogging and stuff like that, then the Osmo Pocket is going to be an awesome camera for you. And it is very fragile in the sense of if you drop it, you might break it the first time you drop it, depending on how hard the drop is and everything, because it uses a gimbal head camera to stabilize your footage, to track things, to move around and all that stuff. Now, because of that gimbal head and the mechanical stabilizing, you are going to get amazing, stable footage while you're walking around. It takes no effort to do this. You can also double tap and that thing will track you around. So if you want to step away from the camera, I believe it's like 180 degree that it can track you. And you can double check on that for me. But it has all of that on there. You can also sync up the wireless mics to it. It comes with the Creator Combo Kit, and I recommend getting that one because it just comes with everything you need, the little tripod and the microphone. And other than that, you can just use it straight out of the box. The only thing with that one is that it comes with a shorter focal length lens. I think it's a 20 millimeter versus like a 15 on this one. I think this is a 15 or 10 millimeter or something like that. This one has a wider field of view. The Osmo Pocket 3 is going to give you a little bit more of that background blur. Some people will say it has better quality and stuff like that. So depending on if you are not doing action, which I'm assuming that's why you're looking at the Osmo Pocket 3, then I would just stick with that one. I really love the Osmo Pocket 3 because of the stabilizing. I feel like it's easier to vlog. It's also a little bit more, even though both of these cameras are very small, the Osmo Pocket 3 is just a little bit more I don't know if this is the right word, inconspicuous, I can't say it, dude. It's a little bit more sleek. People don't pay attention to you because it's like a little stick with a little gimbal head on top of it. And I like it because when I'm vlogging, you can just point it and like it doesn't look like you're pointing a camera, where this is a camera shape. It's a square with a big like camera lens on it, so people know you're filming them. And in order for you to film whatever you want to film, you actually have to legit like point at them. And it's just kind of a little bit intrusive, especially if you're trying to vlog inside stores and public places. It just looks a little weird. So those are the two big things on it. Other than that, guys, Osmo Pocket 3, fragile, very stable, tracks you. And this one is more robust, mounted anywhere you want. Everything is sharp, wide angle lens. That's pretty much it out of these two. All right, now for the advanced user, now I'm gonna geek out. This is more for like the nerds and the people that want to tinkle around with settings like me and are concerned about image quality and all the extra little details and sauce that these cameras can do. I'm gonna talk about both of them, the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Action 5, and what I like about each one and all that good stuff. So let's start off with the Action 5. Dude, the Action 5, if you guys are looking at this for vlogging, it is great. It's got a wide angle lens. I prefer a wide angle lens for vlogging because it just captures more. I don't have to hold it so far out, which then gets my arm tired like I do with the Osmo Pocket 3. Now I know the Osmo Pocket 3, you can, attach the little adapter. I'm not gonna even call it a lens. The adapter that makes it wide, and it's just too much. You can't turn off the Osmo Pocket 3 when when you have anything attached to it. There's some filters that you can use to do that, but then you still have to take them off. And to take off filters on the Osmo Pocket 3 is very, very finicky. You're always gonna take them off and somehow get a fingerprint on them, or you're gonna drop them. You might lose them. They're super small. They're just hard to take off because the gimbal head kind of shakes a little bit sometimes. And you also have to deal with that gimbal head like not being like calibrated all the time. Like I constantly find myself hitting that center button to just recenter it, which is not a big deal, right? I'm not gonna try to be a big crybaby. I do love my Osmo Pocket 3, so I have good things to say about it too. But this thing is a lot easier if you want to use ND filters, but I do not recommend using any ND filters on this camera because it uses digital stabilizing. So I didn't know this, but digital stabilizing actually uses some sort of formula with the shutter speed and all that good stuff. And obviously if you're going to be using NDs, the only reason would be so that you can get that nice cinematic motion blur, which is like the 180-degree rule. And that means that you're going to have to drop your shutter speed to 1/50th, which is pretty slow. And then obviously frame rate 24 frames. Well, the problem is that you sacrifice the stability on this camera, and let me tell you that it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's not pretty to look at. If you don't believe me, go and look at the video before this one. That video kind of flopped. Honestly, it hasn't gotten that much views or anything, but it's the one that says the thumbnail is like DJI official NDs, and I show the vlog on ND filters with the motion blur, and it's not stable. It's not pretty, to the point where I'd rather not have motion blur and keep my stability, because at least everything looks smooth and nice and stable. And I feel like the shakiness of the trees just looks unnatural and everything like that. So I recommend not using ND filters with this thing. If you want to fiddle with that and try to mess with shutter speed and settings, that's up to you. Obviously, it's all a preference, but I don't think it looks good at all. And I'm just trying to save you money. Look at that video. You tell me if you want to use them. Now, on the opposite side, the Osmo Pocket 3, even though those ND filters are finicky to work with, you can get motion blur because the stability comes from the gimbal head, and it's a mechanical stabilizing. So you can definitely do the motion blur thing with that. Now, the problem is that if you're trying to get the cinematic image, Osmo Pocket 3 DLOG M sucks so bad. And I didn't realize it until I bought this almost a week ago. The DLOG M on Osmo Pocket 3, for some reason, if you're using it on auto exposure, it doesn't know how to expose. Like if I was here with Osmo Pocket 3 on DLOG, like I am on the Action 5 right now, this would be exposed correctly, but then my face and everything that's in the shadow right now would be completely blacked out. It's kind of weird how it does that. So the auto exposure is pretty much like, it just sucks with DLOG M. And then also, it's weird. Like I feel like it's just not the same file or something. I don't know. I really hope that they fix it with an update and match it to this. I also don't like that in the Osmo Pocket 3, if you're using DLOG and you're viewing yourself, you see yourself in log profile mode. So it's really flat it's just unflattering, and it's not, I don't like to look at it that way. I don't know if I'm overexposed or not, because I can't see what the image is gonna look like. Where in this, right now on the Action 5, we're filming in DLOG, which I highly recommend. DLOG on this thing on auto works really, really nice, and it takes off that digital sharpness. I know that if you're an advanced user and you're looking for that cinematic feel or just like that natural look, the DLOG on Action 5 works very well. Like right now, I've been using it this whole video. It exposes very beautifully, and it just looks nice and soft and natural. I do have the sharpness turned down to negative. I do have the sharpness turned down to -2, the noise reduction to -2, and it just looks really nice. I really like the soft feel of this. It looks natural to me, and I'm shooting in full auto. There's no NDs right now or everything like that. And it colors really easily. I use the DJI official LUT. You slap it on there and you're ready to go. If you want to add some sauce to it and put your own color great on it, then you're gonna be set. This thing looks beautiful on DLOG. So I think I was wrong, guys. I think I was wrong about DLOG. It just sucks on the Osmo Pocket 3, and I didn't realize that until I got this camera. So I am gonna be using DLOG M for everything on this camera. I also did some noise tests yesterday in low light, and it's very interesting. I'll show you in a little bit. We're here home. But Osmo Pocket 3, I really love it for my walking around videos. Because it's just stable. I just wish it had a wide angle lens. So that's my only gripe with it. I do like that the Osmo Pocket 3 for talking head, like literally you could just set it on the table. It has a little tripod already built into it. You can just adjust the angle however you want and you can start talking. I do like that there is some depth of field like this. If I put my hand here, there's not a lot of blurriness in the background, and I do like that. It looks a little bit more professional. Some people say that the Osmo Pocket 3 has better quality of image than this, and I agree, but I don't think it's that bad. Like right now, this is DLOG M, and I really, really like it. I really like DLOG M, and maybe I should use this as a thumbnail. I really like the way that light's hitting on here. It looks very natural. And the thing about this camera is that I feel like I can put this in my pocket a lot easier. The Action 5 is just easier to put in your pocket. I recommend going on Amazon. I got an affiliated link for this on my description, so I can get some Chipotle. But if you go on there, it's $7.99 US. It's a little lens cover like this. It's just a silicone little thing. When I'm done, I put this on the camera, and then I put this in, literally just throw it in my pocket. It comes with screen protectors, so I already have those on this camera, and you're set. You can literally really just throw this in your pocket. If you accidentally drop it on the cement and it rolls, I don't think anything's gonna happen to it. You can literally buy the lens cover, unscrew it, screw a new one, and you're good. Your lens is like super protected. Love this camera. Love this camera because of the durability, how you can mount it anywhere. The Osmo Pocket 3, I can't really mount in my car. It's too tall and it doesn't work for that way, but it's still a very small camera. So for walking around, talking, and you're like a chill vlogger, then go with the Osmo Pocket 3. If you're gonna go do action stuff and, you know, get crazy, I don't need to explain that to you. You guys are professionals on this one. But DLOG on this looks way better. Let me just switch over for you guys to normal color profile so you can see what I'm talking about with the digital. Pay attention to this image, my face, like my beard, because you'll notice the sharpness difference. All right, guys, check it out. This is normal color profile, and I can already tell, like it's putting that HDR or secret sauce. Anytime you use normal color 10-bit profile, it puts that secret sauce. It's awesome if you're going to just run and gun and film, because it does add that like almost highlight protection, and it does lift up the shadows a little bit more. It gives you just a nice color, but it also, even if you turn down the sharpness and you turn down the texture or noise reduction and all that stuff down to -2 on both of them, it's still going to give you a pretty digital image. Like, look, pay attention to the edges. Pay attention to everything. It looks very digital. It's not as soft. Even if you do that, you can't get rid of that. But DLOG just gives you that nice, natural, soft image. And I think that's what people don't like this camera, because, and they say the image quality is like cheaper than the Osmo Pocket. I think that's true if you're using this normal color profile, because it does give you that digital kind of cell phone-y security camera look. But let's go back to DLOG. All right, guys, we're back on DLOG. But if you can tell, the sky's a little bit brighter. The highlights here look a little bit brighter. I don't know if I'm clipping or not, but with DLOG, I guess you can recover them a little bit. I just like the softness. We're still at -0.7 EV. I've tried -1, but it tends to underexpose quite a bit. I did a vlog on my first full vlog on this thing. You'll notice that it started off like super dark, and that's because I had it at -0.1, and it was a little too dark. So I tried -0.3, and it was just a little too bright in certain situations. So today we're trying -0.7, and I feel like this is the sweet spot. Let me show you guys real quick. Let's grab some coffee. Let me show you what I discovered yesterday in terms of like low light and this Action 5 camera. Estela, ay girl, Estela, get some cafecito. Girl. right, guys, this is the thing that sucks about this. I don't have a tripod mount for this. So like this can only sit like flat on the table if you don't have a tripod mount, versus the Osmo Pocket 3 can sit down. So I guess we're just gonna have to hold this. But for those that are looking and are still convinced about the Action 5 because you like the form factor, you like how robust it is, you like the wide angle lens, you're gonna be doing some action, or you just simply like the feel and view of it versus the Osmo Pocket 3. Because for me as a professional, when I first saw the Osmo Pocket 3, honestly, I thought the idea was pretty cool, but when I saw it and I was just kind of picturing myself using it as a professional, I was just like, man, I don't know, man. I just feel like amateur with it, and I just didn't feel like confident holding that thing. But after I got it and I started seeing more people using it and talking about it, and I just got used to it, I actually learned to really love the camera. But I totally get trying to grab one of these. Like, I feel a lot cooler with this Action 5 just because it does look like a tiny little camera. I like that if I drop it, like nothing's gonna happen to it. I can be pretty rough with it. But what this camera is now messing with me in is that the D-Log looks so good on this. Like, I love D-Log on Action 5. And I thought D-Log just sucked all straight through. But it doesn't, like not on the Action 5. Action 5, I think it works exactly how it was supposed to be working. It exposes correctly and the colors just look really good. And I have it on straight up auto. Now, one of the things I noticed and that surprised me was that D-Log actually has better like noise controller. I don't know what it does. Like in this situation right now, let me bring this down a little bit like this. Yesterday I was doing a video and I had this. I looked back at the footage and it was like super noisy when I had it in a normal 10-bit color. I don't know why it was so noisy. I even went up to bumping the noise reduction to -1 to see if that would help. I was like, man, the ISO must be like really cranking up on this thing. I went ahead and I swiped to the left. I went to exposure and I saw what the auto ISO was doing. When I put it on 10-bit color, the ISO at that time was like 3000 or something like that. It was like in the high 2000s, you know, low 3000s, and it was kind of fluctuating in that 3000 area. And when I would put it on D-Log on the same exact spot like I am right now, ISO was like 1000 or 800. It was like, it's like D-Log knows to keep the ISO levels very, very low, and it improved the noise reduction. So then what I did was I had to go to 10-bit color in the ISO range where I have it to full range. What I did is I had to limit it down because the camera, it wants to crank up the ISO to give you the cleaner image. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how that works. You would think that it would use the same amount of ISO because it's doing some processing, but it doesn't. 10-bit color requires higher ISO values. So even when I do -0.7 EV on the normal 10-bit color, it just reacts different with the ISO and what it's asking for it. So using D-Log on this is working really good. It's almost like, I don't know if it's because this is a pro camera, they really focused on the DLOG M, but they did a good job. And I just hope that DJI brings that D-Log sauce and like algorithms and the way it's dealing with D-Log to the Osmo Pocket 3. Like, I don't know why Osmo Pocket 3 doesn't have the auto recovery option. The auto recovery option, if you're not familiar with it, basically what it does is that if you're shooting D-Log, it's a flat profile, and that's what you see on the camera. So when you're looking at yourself, you don't know if you're overexposed or underexposed, and you don't know what the colors look like. It's just kind of unpleasant, and it's just unpleasant to look at when you're filming yourself. And with Action 5, it gives you that. You hit up, you turn on auto color recovery, and what it does is it basically adds like a normal color profile over it so that you can see what it looks like. You can see if you're overexposed and whatnot. And it's just more pleasant to see. It's not baked into the footage. You're still getting logged, but like viewing purposes, it makes a lot of sense. Osmo Pocket 3, I don't know why they would not add it. You would think that that camera would have it before this one, because this one's a pro. If a pro just looks at log footage, like they might not care. But if the Osmo Pocket 3 was targeted more towards like regular consumer, like not really like geeky people, you would think that they would just add it on there. It's not, I don't think it's a big deal to just add that update. So I'm pretty sure DJI is going to be bringing up an update, and they need to really update the auto settings on D-Log for Osmo Pocket 3, because right now it's it's really unusable. And it just, there's something about it I can't quite pick that it doesn't look right. Here, let's go ahead and switch over to the Osmo Pocket 3 and let's film in D-Log and see what happens. All right, guys, we're on full auto D-Log and I have the exposure set to, see, this is what I like about the Osmo Pocket 3. You can just set it down like this and you can do a easy talking head video. You take away a lot of that digital look when you're using D-Log, and that's what I like. I just think that some of the processing that these cameras do gets removed out of that, and then you do get a more natural image. Now, right now, because we are in a low light situation and using D-Log, it did bring that shutter speed down to 1/50th. So we are getting that natural motion blur, so it does look really good. And again, Osmo Pocket 3 has just like that nice background blur because of the bigger sensor. So if you're looking for talking head videos like this, where you're demonstrating products and you can like, you can like show something off like this, where you might want it to be in focus and then you're like blurred out back here, but then you're doing this. I think that's pretty cool. I really like that for talking head videos. So I want to definitely be using this for that kind of work. I just also realized that I don't have the microphone linked up to this, so I guess this is going to be an internal mic test for the Osmo Pocket 3. But let me show you guys something. I just realized too, I said that on the Action 5 for what happens when you go on D-Log and you're on auto, D-Log on the Action 5, like it's requesting lower ISOs, so it's giving you a cleaner image. And I don't know why it does that, because in normal 10-bit color, like I said, it's literally like double the ISO. So if I was filming the same exact image and I just switched the color profile, negative 0.7 EV, normal color 10-bit would be like 2500 ISO, where if I switch to D-Log, same settings, the ISO is like 800. So that's a huge jump, and it could introduce a lot of noise and a lot of different things like that. So I don't know why it does that, but in the Osmo Pocket 3, I just checked the same thing. And when I'm in D-Log, the ISO right here, it was saying 350, 320. But then when I switch it to 10-bit color, it goes all the way down to 200. So it makes sense why then the D-Log on here looks a lot noisier. I think it's because it's asking for more light. And on this one, the ISO on the sensor for D-Log is 50 to 3200 only. So I'm assuming that probably around the 1500 or 1600 and above, you're gonna start getting really noisy, or probably even 800 and above. You're probably gonna start getting really noisy with the D-Log. So I don't think this thing was meant to be shot on D-Log, and if it is, it's just meant to be used outside and like with a lot of light. Where this action camera, the ISOs are a lot higher. You can go, they start at 100 and they go all the way up to like, let me see here. So D-Log on the Action 5 is 100 to 12,800. And that is on D-Log. So that's huge. 3,200 to 12,800. That's pretty big. And then for normal color, let's see. Then for normal color, you have 100 to 25,600, which is crazy. I don't know why, but I think I don't know. I think this camera just requires a lot of light or something, or maybe I have no idea. It has to do with the sensor, I believe. So it makes sense why D-Log is a lot more noisier on here, because if you're already getting to the max of what D-Log can handle on this, which is 3,200, that's not a lot. You're going to get very noisy footage. So if you're shooting on the Osmo Pocket 3, I still recommend to shoot it in normal color, 10-bit, full auto. And if you're on the action camera, I recommend shooting in D-Log and using the negative 0.7 EV. I think that's going to be good. I leave the full range ISO because it does a great job at keeping it to a decent ISO where it doesn't introduce noise to your image. But if you do use the normal 10-bit color on this, for some weird reason, it does crank up the ISO like double of what D-Log is asking, therefore like giving you more noise. Let me show you here. We should probably do a test. Let me do a test right now here. We're gonna go to normal 10-bit color and let's just film something right here. All right, guys. Here's a shot I'm filming as a test for you guys. I'm filming on both of these cameras, and This is what 10-bit color looks like. Pay attention to the sharpness, like my face, like pay attention to the sharpness. Sharpness is turned down, or texture, to -2. Noise reduction, -2. 10-bit color. Here it is, normal. All right, take a look at it. Take a look at noise and all that good stuff. Now let's switch it to D-Log. All right, guys, this is D-Log. Same settings, -2 on the texture, sharpness, -2 on noise reduction, -0.7 EV. It's gonna be asking, I didn't check the ISO, but yesterday in the same spot, it was saying around 800 ISO versus the normal 10-bit color. I don't know why it was asking for like 2,500, almost 3,000. So I'm assuming that because of those numbers, that's why we're getting a lot of noise. You would think that because 10-bit color has some processing in it, it would be a lot cleaner, but that's not the case here. You can also see how soft and natural this image looks versus the normal 10-bit color. Now, that is more of a preference thing. I don't think that one looks better than the other one. I just prefer the softer, natural look versus the digital, you know, crispy kind of digital, whatever you want to call it, you know, edge to it. But anyways, that's what I want to show you guys today. And in conclusion, if you're going to be crazy and just dirty with the camera and you know, strapping it on like the bike, the car, mounting it, underwater, hiking, beach, vacation, all that good stuff, just go with the Action 5. If you're going to do more talk head videos, walking around, just vlogging, you know, easy travel and stuff like that, go with the Osmo Pocket because it has that stabilizing. And if you're going to use ND filters, I would also go with the Osmo Pocket because you can actually use them on Osmo Pocket without sacrificing stability. So those are really it. If you're just a beginner, you're going to use these in full auto and not have to worry about any settings, which I recommend for both of these cameras, then you're going to be set with either one. That you just have to decide what kind of lifestyle you're going to have with these cameras and what you're going to be using them for in terms of like just, you know, extreme situations or weather situations. But other than that, guys, take it easy, enjoy the video, and I got some more coming for you. Peace.